In general, I suggest that you don't distribute unless you absolutely have to. So leave denominators broken apart. We're going to leave this as 1 plus cosine times sine. And then over on the right, we get sine squared and then 1 plus cosine times sine. Because we have like denominators, we can simplify. We get cosine plus cosine squared plus sine squared all over 1 plus cosine times sine. Hopefully something jumped out at you, and that's that we have a cosine squared sine squared. That's our Pythagorean identity, where cosine squared plus sine squared equals 1. Now we have cosine plus 1 all over 1 plus cosine times sine. Well, our 1 plus cosines cancel, leaving us 1 over sine. And remember your reciprocal identities, this equals cosecant. And that's your final answer. Tricky, I know, there's a lot of steps to it, there's a lot of just kind of working through them, but the more you practice, the more you'll recognize when to use identities, and the more familiar, the easier these will become. Again, look for these tricks. If you have tangent or cotangent, rewrite it in terms of sine and cosine. Same thing if you have secant or cosecant, rewrite that in terms of sine and cosine. And look for those squared values. Those are Pythagorean identities. Alright, let's try something else. Verify the identity. For these problems, just pick one side, and you're going to want to make it look like the other. Which side you pick really doesn't matter. You just want to prove that both sides are equal to one another. So we have two parts here. If you want to try these on your own first, please go for it. If not, if these are a little confusing, you want that guided practice, then just keep watching the videos and see what I do. Alright, we want plenty of space here. For this first one, we have 2 cosecant squared x equals 1 over 1 minus cosine x plus 1 over 1 plus cosine x. Okay, what we're going to do is, we see fractions. We're going to give these fractions like denominators. Really like to do that. We're going to multiply the second fraction by 1 plus cosine x over 1 plus cosine x. We're going to multiply this first fraction by 1 minus cosine x over 1 minus cosine x. We end up with 2 cosecant squared x. Well, we'll just focus on this left side, or the right side. We get 1 over 1 minus cosine x plus 1 over 1 plus cosine x is equal to 1 minus cosine x plus 1 plus cosine x all over the like denominator of 1 minus cosine x. And I did flip these, I'm sorry for that. There we go. So we get 1 plus cosine x plus 1 minus cosine x. 1 plus cosine x. There we go. So we have 1 plus cosine x plus 1 minus cosine x all over 1 minus cosine x times 1 plus cosine x. Let's simplify that numerator. We get 2, and our cosine x's cancel. So we're just left with 2 all over 1 minus cosine x, 1 plus cosine x.